Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a fun one for you. I'm going to be doing some comparisons between different gears and tire setups. I've been working on this video for quite a while, maybe 6 months or so. It's taken me a little time to put everything together because I got to swap parts and buy those parts and all that stuff. But in the first part of this video, we are going to be starting out with what I thought was an OEM setup at the time. When I bought the car, I was told that it had the original 2.8 gears in the rear. Come to find out, after I dismantled everything, after I took it out and I actually counted the teeth, this car came with 3.25 gears when I bought it. So the builder was just mistaken, I guess. He told me 2.8s. A few times in this video, I say 2.8 because at the time, that's what I thought I had. So we are starting with 3.25 gears, and we're gonna be comparing them to the 355s that I installed later. The car is also running some heavy Scott Drake wheels. They're the styled steel wheels. They're only 7-inch wide all the way around, and it has some Michelin Eco tires on it. So it's a great cruiser, but for grip, it's not all that great. So for the third segment of this, we are going to be swapping out the tires with some new ultralight wheels and some better gripping tires. So stay tuned all the way to the end to see how much I can improve. But basically we're starting with the 325s, going to the 355s, same tires, not swapping those out yet. And then for the third segment, we are going to be swapping out the wheels and tires. And we'll see what happens. Here we go, very first try, using the draggy. That was just a 0 to 60. It's a pretty narrow road, lots of hills. So 0 to 60 in 9.96 seconds. All right, this seems like a halfway decent road. It's straight, but it's not flat. It's a pretty big hill up here, but we're gonna give it a try. To 60 is 10.58. I think it's slipping a ton with these wheels. Here's another try.
Posi. 60.
That was a decent run. Fairly flat. It was 0 to 60 in 8.08. Oops, I didn't take a picture of that. 8 seconds, 0 to 60. That's pretty slow. It feels fast, but man, it's my truck does, I think, 4. It's pretty crazy.
Half mile.
Alright, I made it to the Knoxville drag strip. Man, it's so loud here I can't even hear my own car. But I'm super excited to finally give this thing a try. It looks like I'm coming up next. Alright, here we go. We are going to the right lane. I think I'm going to have major traction issues, but we'll do a little burnout anyway.
Posi. 60. Quarter mile.
Let's see, what was that? 8th mile was 10.52 seconds. 0 to 60 in 8.5, which is pretty much what I've been seeing. It looks like I'm just gonna get mid-8s 0 to 60 with it as it is. I'll go a few more times just to have fun. Thank you very much. Mile per hour in the 8th mile. Yeah, by the way, this is an 8th mile track. It is 67.4 miles an hour. 10.493 in the 8th mile, and my draggy says 10.52. So pretty close. So that performance testing went fine. Right now though, I want to show you what it's like with the OEM setup. So right now I'm in first gear. It gets up there. A lot of people say first gear is useless. It's not useless with the 280s and the Tremec T5. Usually by the time you get through an intersection, you can shift. But here we go, first gear. So it does accelerate pretty quickly. With the new ones, with the 355 gears, it's going to be even shorter. So we'll see how it goes. With that, I just wanted to show you guys the drivability, a little bit of it. We're also going to get onto a highway here in a second, and I'm going to show you guys what the RPMs are like at cruising speed with the 280s. So in just a second, we'll get on the highway. All right, right now we are at 61 miles an hour, right about there, 60 miles an hour, and we're at 1800 RPM. Very easy, very quiet cruising speed, really quite comfortable. If I speed up to 65, there, that's about 65, and we are at 2000 RPM. Maybe just, yeah, right about 2000 RPM. And if we go up to 70, there, that's 70, we're about 2200 RPM. So hopefully that helps you guys. Well, I wouldn't say those are overly impressive numbers for this car. I know driving, it doesn't feel fast. It's not really a fast car. It's still awesome and I love it, but I've driven much faster cars. My truck that I had was faster. All right, so the numbers that I have. With the original gears that were in the car, they were the 325 gears. 0 to 60, I had a 10.58 second run. I had a 9.96 second run, but my best run was 8.08. So not really stellar numbers. In the 8th mile, my best run was 10.493 seconds. So not really stellar numbers by any stretch. So now it's time to install the new 355 gears to see if that improves anything. Man, I just popped this cover off and everything is so clean and new on this car. They did a great job refurbishing it. Wow. This thing looks awesome. Just gonna go pull the other side off now. Here's a trick for you guys. When you are filling oil into a differential or something that's really hard to get into, you make one of these. So I just took the cap off of this, drilled a hole. This is a 1/2 inch hole, and this is 5/16 inch gas line. So I'm just going to slide that in here, spin this back on, and I'm going to use my air compressor on a really low pressure, and I'm going to put the nozzle right in here, get that plastic out of the way, and I'm going to pressurize this bottle. And when I pressurize this bottle, the fluid is going to come out this hose. So quick and easy tip. I saw this online somewhere, and I hadn't heard about this before, so I wanted to share it with you guys. Well, there it goes. The instructions say to let it run for about 5-10 minutes. So right now I just have it in first gear, and they're both spinning in the same direction. Pretty awesome. I really cannot wait to drive this car. It's been a week since I drove it, but also I'm just excited to see what changes with it. Hey guys, well, it's a few months later, and unfortunately the drag strip is closed. This is December now. We're having a beautiful day. It's in the low 60s, and it's just awesome. I love Knoxville. But we are going to try to do some street testing again and see if I can find a safe place to do some 0 to 60s and see, because I have these 355 gears in, and I forgot to mention in a previous clip, but I also elected to have posi installed. So yeah, I now have 355 gears with posi. I still have the same tires on it, so we'll see if I get any traction. But this is a kind of a straight area that I can kind of do it on. Lots of slippage. But both tires are gripping this time. Oh my God, that sucks. 0 to 60 in 9.96 seconds. Wow, that's, I think the worst without the gears was right around 10.5 seconds, something like that. But the best was something like 8.9, 8.8, or no, 8.08, I think. Wow, that is bad. 0 to 60, 9.96 seconds. Hopefully it gets better. But I'm gonna stop here and get some gas and then go around, drive around some more and try to find some places to get some better numbers than that. Well, that wasn't very impressive, unfortunately. Continuing on, I'm gonna do some highway testing to see how the RPMs have changed. So I'm gonna get it right up to 60. Right about there is 60 miles per hour, and I'm at 2,000 RPM. So that is 200 RPM higher than before. Let's do 65. That's about 65 and about 2,200. So 200 RPM difference. Now let's get over and I will try 70. All right, there's 70 and I'm at 2,350 RPM. So it's increased a little bit, as to be expected. So right now I'm going to try to find a place where I can do maybe one more 0 to 60 test. Traffic is getting kind of busy. It's Christmas. There's a lot of people on the road traveling. So we'll see if I can find a safe spot to do this. Well, my stupid camera died. Just got home so I can get one of my other cameras, but I had the perfect situation. Great, well, not really that great of a launch. That's the big issue, I think, is the traction. So I had a pretty good setup, launched it, and I got 9 seconds 0 to 60. So really, I didn't improve my 0 to 60 by going with these new gears. I think if I had better traction, then yeah, it would be better. Overall, I think the car feels faster, but it's hard to tell exactly. But honestly, if I had known I had 3.25 gears in there to start with, I would have left it. I thought I had the 2.8s, and everybody's like, go with the 3.55s. It's gonna feel like a completely different car. It's gonna be awesome. So I'm kind of disappointed. The posi with the 355s hasn't really wowed me or anything. It's fine. It works, but the big issue I think is still the traction. So the tires that I have on the car right now are 215 60/15s. So they're not very wide, but also the Scott Drake wheels, like I said before, are pretty heavy. I'll have to weigh them all before I do the swap and everything, but I've moved them all around. I've had these off, and I can tell just by moving them, they're definitely heavier. So as you can see, I set my front wheels over here. I know they look different. I know they're not like a typical classic car design, but I tried finding something that was gonna be close. There's a lot of wheels out there that I love, like American Racing has some. I think they call it the Shelby wheel. And there's a few others that I can't think of their names right now. They're really nice wheels, but they are all crazy heavy. Those Shelby wheels are something like 44 pounds each just for the wheel. And these wheels that I got right here are like 17 pounds just for the wheel. So huge difference. And that is a big source of your performance, is what's your rotating weight like. But I think these will be really good. I got the shiny ones because it matches all the rest of the car. It's a very clean chromed car, and I think they'll look really good. And I'm really hoping those, combined with the 3.55 gears and the posi, are gonna make the car feel faster. Unfortunately, I don't have the cash for a 347 or anything crazy like that. But so far to this point, would I do it again? Probably not right now. I think it's nice having the posi, and it was only about $1,000, so it's not that bad. If you have the money to burn, go ahead. And if you have 2.8s, then yeah, I definitely would do it. But overall, the performance just really hasn't seemed like it's night and day or anything. So that's where we are performance wise. It looks like I'm in the 8-second range, 0 to 60. Next is the wheels. So I've got them all stacked up over here. It's Christmas, we have family coming over soon. So hopefully I can find some time to get these on. I also want to try to paint the calipers while it's all apart. But with any luck, maybe I will get these new wheels and tires on this weekend. So that's all for now. Stay tuned, and I'll hopefully wrap this up, well, this year? Probably not this year. This video might not come out until January. Wow, this video has taken me forever to make. I started this whole process around the fall of last year, of 2023. Now we're in March of 2024, and I finally have everything together and working and running great. It's also been a challenge because since my Ford Lightning was stolen and set on fire, which used to be parked right here, this has been my daily driver. So trying to work on the car and get things done when it's my daily driver and I have to drive it the next day has been a challenge. But obviously you can see that I have the new wheels on. I love these wheels. I think they look great. They're much lighter. I'll have to look at the specs. I don't remember exactly how much, but I think the rims themselves were about 17 pounds. I don't know, I'll put it up here on the screen. I went with the General G-Max tires. They had really good specs and they were actually on the lighter weight side. They seem to have great traction. I've driven it in all kinds of weather, just not snow or ice, but lots of rain, and they seem to do great. I haven't done any performance testing with them yet, but that's the plan for today. But before we get there, I also want to say that the reason this kind of took me so long is because the wider tires back here, these are 8-inch wide rims. I had a lot of issues with the back and rubbing. The offset for these wheels is plus 38. And I did all the calculations, I did all the math, and it looked like I needed a 1.5-inch spacer all the way around, and I was gonna be fine. The front wheels and tires were fine. That actually helped a little bit of the rubbing I had with my other setup, because the Scott Drake wheels are actually too close to the inside of the vehicle, and when you turned, it hit the tire out a little bit. But anyways, so these in the front are 205/50 R17s, and thankfully the turning is actually much easier with these. Not really sure why exactly, because it is a slightly wider tire than what I had there before, but maybe partly the weight, maybe the wheel spacer, because they're spaced out a little bit more, but the turning has been much easier, so I really love that. But in the back, I have 245/40 17s, and on the driver's side in the rear, it was rubbing every time I'd hit a bump. So that was a big bummer. Then I went around and I measured the ride height. The back left corner was about 1.5 inches lower than any other wheel, and I couldn't believe it. Once I knew that, then I could tell that the ride seemed like it was a little off. I got a new shackle for just this side to raise it about 1 inch. So finally the ride height is all good, but then I was still having rubbing. So then last week I removed the 1.5-inch spacers from the rear. I kept them in the front, just the rear, and I put 1-inch spacers back there. Everything is good. Well, finally, it drives great. It's much more level. It handles turns and bumps so much better, but it has been a chore. And that's why this whole video has taken so long. Obviously, if it wasn't a daily driver, then I could leave it apart for a couple days and get in there, but I wasn't able to. But finally, today's the day. It's good, it's working. We're gonna do some performance testing. We're gonna see if we can make this old car any faster. Here we go. All right, I think this road might be kind of clear. Yeah, so we're gonna do a test and see if I have improved this vehicle in any way. All right. Holy cow. That's the first time I launched it. The car was struggling for traction, as you saw. 0 to 60 in 8.4. That was interesting. And my freaking mirror popped off. The screw came out and looks like it just finally popped off. Oh my God, that was aggressive. I haven't done any burnouts or anything with these new tires yet, or really any aggressive driving at all. that was interesting. So it's better. Traction is interesting. Let me know in the comments below what you think about that. We'll give it another go. I don't see anybody around. Okay, here we go. Just took it to 60. Yeah! 7.94. Oh, that is better. Finally, that is the best that I've done in this car. Previously, the best I had done, I think it was with the 355 gears. I did 8.08, but a lot of the runs were closer to 9. So, under 8 seconds. Yes! Finally, it's only taken 6 months and thousands of dollars, and I lost half a second. But that's about it. I really hope this helped somebody out there, because this was a lot of work to put together. But thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.